welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another live stream of our Maserati F1 Manager series, and a very exciting stream today because yes, we have Antonelli in the car, but we did have last time, so it's his second race. But we've had a massive upgrade package delivered for the fourth race of the season here today in Bahrain. So we've got 4 new parts on the car. We finished the last race in 8th and 10th. I'm hoping this upgrade package is enough to get us a little bit closer to that sort of top 6 area. 6th and 7th would be nice, and that's where we're starting today. So Kimi Antonelli has qualified P6, Franco Colapinto P7. So very excited to see how we go today in this one. I am on a new setup today, so if there's any issues as we move through the stream, just give me a shout and I'll have a look. But yeah, we're starting in 6th with Antonelli, 7th with Colapinto, and a little bit of a split strategy in terms of they're going for a 2-stop, but Colapinto is going soft, medium, softs. Only just by about a second is Antonelli's strategy quicker, which is a medium, soft, medium. Colapinto can't do it because he's only got 1 set of mediums. Antonelli's got 2, so that's why he can do it. And as you see there, 2 sets of mediums and a soft. And as we see here, Franco only has the 1 set of mediums, so that's why we're on a bit of a different strategy. But as I say, they should be pretty evenly matched. So let's see how we go in this one. If you're dropping into the stream, do me a massive favor and smash that like button. But let's get this one underway in Bahrain and see if we can get our best result of the season so far.
Well, it's great to have you.
So yeah, hopefully sound and everything will be okay.
Weekend's Grand Prix action.
Hippie Joe, hello buddy, how's it going? Hope you're well.
A short moment of time to themselves to focus on the race ahead.
Here we go then, let's get this one underway.
Here we go with the Bahrain Grand Prix. And it's lights out and
so the 2 McLarens get us underway. Antonelli 6th, Colapinto 7th then. And can we finish there? As I say, we've got a very nice upgrade package here today. And let's see what we can do as our 2 teammates having a little bit of a battle. Colapinto on the inside of Antonelli, and Colapinto is through. Colapinto is on the soft tyre though, and Antonelli starts on the medium. Carlos Sainz in the Williams. Williams look like they've bought a big upgrade package as well, because he was absolutely flying in that Williams in qualifying. He's on the softs. Antonelli, the only one starting this race on the medium tyre, so that's interesting to see. It's in my Discord message, what would you have done? Depends when you sent them. I responded earlier, but I haven't been on since, OB Joe, so I might need to catch up a bit. But if I haven't responded, then I've probably not seen the latest ones, buddy. So Colapinto having a look. Having a look then. Hold on, I'm just checking because as I say, I'm on a bit of a new setup, so things are changing all the time over here. Right, let's should be good. Sorry about that. Oh, the video, yeah. As I say, it's just tricky where you. It's just tricky where people catch you on the track. I don't think. I think you try to do the right thing. I didn't see nothing massively bad about it. I'd say if they just said, you know, try and get out of the way a little bit earlier, perhaps, but I didn't think there was anything in it, really. Urtex, how do you get F1 Manager? It's available on all the normal places where you get video games, across all consoles and PC. How you doing? Gally, hello, Addy. Yes, I'm very well, thank you. How are you, buddy? Colapinto having a look then on Sainz, but nothing doing. And we kind of want to settle into this strategy now.
Try to pull it down a bit more on your tires.
Copy.
Yeah, so our two teammates very close together here today. My chat bot, I think, might be broken, so ignore that. Chat if you're seeing that. As I say, new setup today, so there's some teething issues. That appears to be one of them. That needs a bit of a delay on it, so I'll have a look at that after today's stream. So I have to ignore some of that going through, because it looks like it's just going to plow a load of messages in there consistently. Colapinto's dropped 2.4 seconds off Carlos Sainz, as Antonelli on the outside of him has had enough of sitting behind his teammate, and Antonelli is through. He gets DRS as well. Colapinto might be under threat from those behind him, but he survives into turn 1. He'll now have DRS on his teammate. Can Antonelli start to close back to Sainz, who's now got 3.4 seconds on them? I'll get back to you, chat. Hold on. Just having a look how this plays out as Colapinto goes back around the outside. And what's Sainz's tyre life? 87%. Yeah. Let's wonder if we...
the maximum level of liftoff.
What we try and do here with our two drivers. Keep a go on the curb. I may have got stuck. Yeah, no, I didn't see much wrong with it, OPGO, to be honest with you. I wouldn't worry too much about it. Life's been up and down, but good to hear you're doing good. Okay, Addy, I hope you're in for a better week at least this week. Predictions for Canada. I'm probably biased with McLaren, but also they are doing big things. So I think McLaren, obviously. What should we go for Canada? Urtex, how do you get F1 Manager? You have to pay for it, buddy. On Steam or on any other game store. Predictions for Canada, yeah. I'll go Lando pole. I'm going to go Lando pole. A cheeky Leclerc second. Piastri third. Max fourth. That will no doubt be completely and utterly wrong. Just need to change this view over on TikTok because this is all over the shop. Hold on. Chat, as I say, we are with a new setup today, so a few teething issues, but that's fine. We can sort this out. Transform, let me center that on the screen. And that should be good for everyone over on TikTok now. So, Sainz has pulled 5.8 seconds. He's staying with the top 4. And we're struggling here, and it's annoying that our two drivers... Right, what I'm going to do here... I'm going to ask Colapinto not to overtake his teammate here. I'm going to see if Antonelli's got a bit of pace he can use in those mediums. Start building a gap on those behind him. One of his Verstappen. We're not really fighting Verstappen, though. The steward is really nice, I think. Aaron Harper. Good stuff. Yeah, I don't think they let's say it wasn't a stern telling off or anything, so I think you're fine. I'd say if you're watching on Twitch or TikTok, Twitch or YouTube, you'll have to ignore the spamming of the chat bot. So I'm on a new system, so I had to transfer everything over, so some things will be a little bit not working as they should, so that's one thing I need to look at. Well, as long as you can see the action and hear me, that's the main thing, and we're running 6th and 7th then. That's where we started. I've asked them not to fight, but Franco Colapinto isn't particularly listening to that. We can get him to top up a bit of the battery here whilst he sits behind Antonelli. I can't believe they're second seconds. Sainz is just getting a lovely tow, isn't he, off these leaders. OP, are you on Twitch? Yes. on Twitch, TikTok, and YouTube.
Copy.
Right, so Norris leads, Piastri second, Hamilton third, Leclerc fourth. So it's McLaren 1-2, Ferrari 3-4. But then this gap to Sainz is worrying. You know, Max Verstappen, we're not really going to be fighting Max, but I'd like to have pulled away from this Mercedes, Aston Martin, the other Red Bull. But it's not quite happening at the moment. Say we're asking Colapinto not to overtake, but his pace is such that it's struggle not to. So this is, yeah, problematic at the moment. OP Joe jumping over to Twitch as well, buddy. Thanks for following over there as well. As you say, if you are dropping in, do of course smash that like button, super appreciated. Finley, hello buddy, sorry I didn't have my chat there for a while. How's it going, buddy? Jamie, thanks for the follow, thanks for the gift, Finley, much appreciated. So yeah, now 8 seconds to Sainz. Hulkenberg's had a lock-up, he's dead last. Good, thanks, how are you? Good to hear, buddy. Yes, I'm very well, thank you. Very much causing a bit of a DRS train here, aren't we? OP Joe, I'm now following on Twitch. Yeah, see that come through, buddy. Thanks, mate. So yeah, I was hopeful that we would be having a good old race for 6th and 7th here. I was hoping we'd battle Sainz. Max would get past us, so we'd still fight for 6th or 7th. But the pace behind us is a little bit worrying. Colapinto 79%. He has got good tyre life though on the rest, I would say. So maybe the AI, which we've seen quite a lot here in 2026, are burning up their tyres early on. And Colapinto is just being able to sit behind his teammate here, recover a bit of the battery, which is all good. Should I start recording my experience when I'm needed in the league? Yeah, I would say so. It's always good. And then you've got a bit of coverage for yourself as well. And in case you have any incidents, you've got your own POV, which you can use. How are you feeling about the transfer window, Addy? Right, so we continue in this train. So it looks like Sainz might be out of touch. Well, let's say he has used 12% more tyre life. So I think we've just got to go through this first stint and then see where we are later on in the race. Finley with a couple more roses. Thank you, buddy. As I say, if you are jumping into the stream, do me a massive favour and smash that like button. Super appreciated. Really does help me out. Hope you're all having a good Tuesday. And after tomorrow, it'll be the end of Wednesday, and we're on the back end of the week, heading to a weekend. And if you enjoy Formula 1, of course, we've got race action again this weekend. So we're just asking Antonelli not to, Colapinto, sorry, not to overtake Antonelli.
Copy that.
OP. Yeah, I would just use it more for defense, because someone might try it on to say that you did this and did that, and from their onboard, or from the angle they give, might not show you exactly what happened. So it's just good to cover your end, isn't it? Have you heard anything about Stroll? I've not. If there's been any more developments. Is he back this weekend? Or if he's still been overusing that wrist of his. Right, what I'm going to do, you'll know by now if you watch the stream regularly, we don't forward too much, but there's not too much going on here. So I just want to get closer to these first rounds of stops for most of the drivers. We're frustrating for Verstappen. He can't get past us at the minute. Sainz has become detached from the top four, and we are closing in on that slightly. Right, start of lap 10. Let's just have a look then at tyres. So, Hamilton down to 49%. Some of these down to the 40% mark. So, I think another couple of laps or so. We're going to lap 20 with Colapinto. And lap 19, Antonelli on the mediums is supposedly going to come in earlier because he's trying to set the pace with an aggressive stint on these mediums. Not quite working in terms of pulling away. I'm not 100%. Things have been coming up. Bottas and Perez, no idea what. I think it's because they're, if I remember correctly, the Aston Martin reserve drivers are both occupied in other series this weekend. I believe. So their typical reserve drivers wouldn't be able to step in without coming out of those race series that are in. So that's why I think other drivers have been mentioned if Stroll can't make it. But yeah, I've not seen any concrete news on it. Right, so we continue as is. 71% for Antonelli. There is Sainz, so still at 5.5 seconds, but Sainz now down to 59%. And this is frustrating for Verstappen behind us because we're just using the teammate, using the DRS to keep him behind. And they're all burning up their tyres behind us. Now we've got Colapinto on light.
Yeah, copy that.
As we say that, Max Verstappen is having a go though. But he can't make it work. He lost a bit of traction there. Is he going to be under threat here? From Alonso. Alonso's on his inside. Fernando Alonso spots the moment to have a go. And he's going to get through on Max Verstappen. Max tried to have a go on Colapinto. He got bogged down coming out of that corner on the traction zone. And Fernando Alonso has took advantage. And we get a little bit of respite from those behind us. Right, what I'm going to ask is turn off, don't attack your teammate. And I'm hoping naturally he'll be able to get past Antonelli now. And we can return the favour to Antonelli. There we go. And we'll ask Antonelli not to fight teammate. And hopefully we can use a bit of this pace now and pull away. Gap to Sainz now under 5 seconds. So we are coming back to Carlos Sainz. Colapinto, as I say, just going to use a bit of the battery, a bit of the pace. Antonelli, though, struggling to stay with him in all honesty.
Copy.
Liam, are you on Twitch? Yes, we are on Twitch and YouTube. Same username, CaliFlap on all of those. As Perez is the first into the pits then. As we watch a pit stop here for Mercedes. Nice clean stop for them. Antonelli did stay ahead and it's now Max Verstappen back behind him again. But again, he's down to 47%. Few of these in the 30% range.
All the time you have to leave a space.
Liam, thanks for jumping over from TikTok and following on Twitch. Much appreciated. So we're now down to 3.8 seconds to Carlos Sainz.
Try to go down as much as possible.
Copy.
More charge, more charge.
Copy.
So we're using a lot of the pace here. Right, let's go back to neutral there now. And standard. So we used a bit of pace and we closed that, what was 5.5 seconds now, to 2.7 on Carlos Sainz. Piastri into the pits. Antonelli does need to stay in that DRS zone of his teammate.
You can reduce slightly the management down.
He should do that. Piastri then in for McLaren. And again, early stop. But we're going to see quite a few pit stops now. Lawson down to 29%. He's into the pit. So is Ricciardo. So is Magnussen. Piastri is going to come out behind Stroll. Is he here? Yes. So he'll be wanting to get past Stroll pretty quickly. On the mediums goes Piastri. Alright, so again, what we can do here is take this off.
Copy.
And we can allow Antonelli to overtake Colapinto again. Just trying to manage this between our two drivers. They might be battling a lot today, our two drivers. Just don't want them to collide, though. They're not going to. Antonelli will now get the DRS. Now we're asked Colapinto not to fight him. And there we go. So Colapinto back into the lead, and then we'll start to use a bit of Antonelli, sorry, back into the lead between our two teammates. We'll get him to use a bit of battery. I do need Colapinto to stay with him. So Colapinto due to stop lap 20, Antonelli lap 19. As we'll probably be one of the last to pits here. How many followers do you need to start a live? On TikTok, I think you need 1,000 followers. I think it is. All right, let's get Antonelli to use some of this battery now. Verstappen's dropping off us a bit here.
Keep using it.
Copy.
Down to 36% on his tyres. So yeah, a lot of the AI now starting to save. Oh man, I need to do a lot of work then. How many you got, Finley? And what are you trying to stream off? Are you streaming off PC or just generally off mobile on a live stream? Right, let's get Antonelli using this base. This might be an exciting final stint here, because we are, as I say, Sainz still hasn't stopped, and he's got past Hamilton. Sainz, that Williams, as I say, was absolutely on fire in qualifying, and it's got the race pace as well, because he's naturally ahead of Hamilton. 36. Just got to keep plugging away, buddy. Keep uploading videos. You'll get there. Don't give up. That's the main thing, I'd say. Lando Norris into pit. So is Lewis Hamilton. And Verstappen and Alonso in behind us. So as I say, I think we're going to be one of the last to box here today. Because everyone, yeah, about half the grid have now stopped.
Copy.
And Piastri comes out behind his teammate then. So Norris, that's working well. Norris looks odds on to win the race. Norris has won the opening 3 races of this 2026 season. And he looks good to do that 4 times in a row in 2026. On his way to a dominant world championship perhaps, Lando Norris. Right, we're now 2.6 off Carlos Sainz, who started to recover a bit of that tyre life. But we need to get to about lap 19 here. As Leclerc now stops.
Everything is ready.
Copy.
And we're nearly into Carlos Sainz DRS here. The two McLarens have already stopped, so there'll be a pit stop ahead, but we're not fighting those McLarens, of course. Can we get to Sainz's DRS on this lap? I think we can. Carlos Sainz then had about, well, at one point a 7-8 second lead. It's now down to 0.8. And Antonelli has some DRS on him. How close can he get here? He's going to get 2 doses of DRS. First on his start-finish straight. And he's still towing along his teammate Colapinto quite nicely here. Right, can we make the overtake here? No, we can't. Can't get it done there. And these McLarens are going to want to get involved now as well.
Copy.
Antonelli really on this next DRS zone needs to make the move on Carlos Sainz. Sainz down to 36% now. This should be the moment really. Using all the tyre, battery and DRS coming out of this corner. Sainz gets a good getaway, but we're closing now. We'll pull to the inside. And Kimi Antonelli is going to make the move on Carlos Sainz. And Kimi Antonelli is your new race leader. Of course, we won't be leading the race once we stop. And Carlos Sainz has not given up on that move quite yet. And Carlos Sainz is still there. He's really not happy that we've made that move on him. But we are through. And Colapinto is now having a look on the inside, but he's losing the slipstream. And he's given that to the McLaren. And Franco trying to stay in there, but the McLaren's got much fresher tyres, so we're not going to be able to keep on to that. Carlos Sainz goes aggressive. Colapinto doesn't really know where he's going here, but he eventually has to settle for what is P4 now, but it should be P3 once Norris has cleared Sainz. Antonelli is going to be in a couple of laps' time. Right, Colapinto then, he now needs to get past Carlos Sainz. Lando Norris has cleared Antonelli, but as I say, we're not fighting those McLarens.
It's just a lot of confidence.
Oh, well, come on.
Yeah, keep doing
Come
your
on, Kimi,
best.
it's not a loss of confidence.
Car behind is Sainz.
Around the outside of here would be brave from Franco. I'm not sure we're going to make that work. Got to use the battery and DRS in. Sainz got a good exit there. He hasn't got DRS though, and we have got battery and DRS. Here comes Franco Colapinto, just like his teammate on the inside. And he is now through then, past Carlos Sainz, and we can attack and use the rest of that tyre life up. So we're probably going to fall back quite a bit after this first stop, but we're going to have a good tyre margin on the rest of the grid here. So it's currently Antonelli P2, Colapinto P3, but we're yet to stop. It's only ourselves and Sainz, the only 3 drivers yet to stop, and Sainz might be about to change that and jump into the pits right about now. And he does indeed, so Sainz is in. He'll get a nice little undercut on us. So let's get Antonelli in at the end of this lap. And then Colapinto is next lap. So let's forward on, get those pit stops done. as Piastri is going to make his move on Colapinto. But again, we're not fighting those McLarens today, unfortunately. Although we've had a nice upgrade package, not quite good enough to fight those boys. Right, here we go then. Antonelli in for his first stop of the day. Hopefully first of 2 stops today. And he's going to need a clean stop if he's got any chance of keeping ahead of Sainz. I think Sainz probably will get an undercut. 2.2, very nice. Where is Carlos Sainz? He's coming out of the final quarter now. So Antonelli is at the end of the pit lane. There is Sainz. It's going to be close. I think Sainz will get it though because his tyres will be up to temp and he's going to get some DRS out of here.
In front you have Perez.
So Antonelli does stay ahead of Sainz just about. Sainz gone onto the mediums. We're on the soft. So can we pull away? Where are we? We're behind Perez and Verstappen. But we've got good tyre life now.
Okay, to close the gap now.
And he's got plenty of tyre life to be able to push there. We have got Colapinto coming in this lap anyway, haven't we? Yep. Ocon's developed a mechanical fault. Sent you 2 things. No worries, buddy. I'll check them out later. Right, let's just get Colapinto in here then. Antonelli is gaining very much on Sergio Perez, who's on the medium tyre. And Antonelli is already going for the move.
They're trying to protect the front.
He's going to have to just dip back in there. We'll join him again on the start-finish straight. Let's just see if we can see this pit stop from Franco Colapinto pulling into his box now. 2.5, a little bit slower. He's got DRS, has Antonelli. Sainz has also got DRS. Perez is the meat in the sandwich here. Sainz on the outside, Antonelli on the inside, but Carlos Sainz has got the better of both of them there. Carlos Sainz on the outside. Job done for him. And we will pick up DRS, but Sainz, good work from him. Not so good there from Antonelli, so he's got to try and get back past Sainz here. Colapinto's came out in P10, and he's lost about 5 seconds to his teammate now, so work to do for Franco. Let's get his tyres up to temp as well. So we're currently 7th and 10th, but we've got good tyre margin, so it's going to come down to that final stint here today. Antonelli, again, DRS on Carlos Sainz. Is going for it on the inside on Carlos Sainz. Sainz is on those mediums. We force him out wide, and we'll get the job done. Kimi Antonelli gets his elbows out, and he moves back into P6. But Sainz is not going to go away, I don't feel, so we're going to be battling with him for a few laps yet.
Good job.
Colapinto 3.7 to Stroll, so he's got a little bit of work to do there yet. We'll get him on aggressive. He's got good tyre life to be had in those mediums. If you're jumping into the stream, if you haven't already, do press that like button. Super appreciated.
Okay.
And here comes Carlos Sainz. So as I say, this is going to to and fro a bit between ourselves. I might just go for a bit of top up with the battery here.
More charge.
Just while we're fighting with Sainz. Try and get the battery, and then we'll go for a full attack to try and pull away.
Do your best. Behind is Perez.
But yeah, some of these, Stroll, Perez already down to 60%, Verstappen 68. So again, they're either going to have to look after these tyres or stop a lot earlier than us. And Norris leads by 8 seconds, and he's got fresher tyres. So Norris is well onto his way to winning a 4th straight race, the opening 4 races of the season.
Copy that.
Antonelli again has DRS on Carlos Sainz. Not too bothered about the overtake, but we are going to get it done. I'm trying to save a bit of battery so we can fully dispatch Carlos Sainz.
You're doing a good job.
But Antonelli back into P6.
4th second.
Got 24% on Max. Can we get to Max Verstappen and Lewis Hamilton later on in this race? That could be interesting to look out for. But I think this is going to be a bit of deja vu. We're going to see Carlos Sainz coming straight back at us. Perez is lurking there, isn't he? But he is down to 64%, so I think we'll be fine. Colapinto isn't really taking anything out of Stroll or Perez yet. I think they're probably still pushing on their tyres. And as we said, there goes Carlos Sainz again. Antonelli just building his battery up. Sainz has used 5% more on those mediums.
Okay, do your best there.
Sergio Perez has joined us. I do think Perez and Stroll are definitely starting to push a little bit. I think if we could break this DRS to Sainz, we could probably get rid of him. Just need to be mindful that Sainz has nearly broken that DRS.
No management anymore.
And we just need to push a little bit, get back into that DRS. We are into that DRS, so we'll get it here. Hopefully we won't get the overtake done here. And what we can try and do is do it on the start-finish straight. Maybe use a bit of battery to pull away. Well, we haven't got too much battery to play with, in all honesty.
Your tires.
Navito, thanks for the follow. Much appreciated, buddy. Yeah, only 28% battery. Colapinto now starting to come at Lance Stroll. Right, Antonelli, let's have a go. Let's have a go on Carlos Sainz. See, this is the problem. We're going to use all our batteries, so we're not going to have anything really to pull away with. So I don't see this probably working, but we get past him there. We're now going to give him DRS, though. We will use the battery, see if we can pull away.
Well there.
I think it's going to be difficult to do that. We are getting very close to Max Verstappen. He must be looking after his tyres, because we've took about a second out of him on that last lap. Antonelli, let's just continue to push. Can we get Sainz out of our DRS? It's close. He is out of our DRS for now. And we are actually into Verstappen's DRS, and that might allow Sainz to get back at us. Can we make the move on Max here? We've gained so quickly on him here. And we are going to get past Verstappen. There you go. Antonelli into P5 then.
Priority 1 is the lift off.
Well, the problem is the battery has gone, so Sainz will probably cruise back up to us here, but we've got Verstappen that we could probably use as a bit of a buffer, although he doesn't take too kindly to being overtaken, and he's got right on our gearbox here, Max. I think he's suddenly using his battery, and we've got none to play with, so I think we're going to be under pressure here from Max, and then Sainz will be back with us, so we do really need to go for a bit of a top-up phase here. Colapinto nearly on to Stroll. So here comes Verstappen. We could do with maybe Verstappen getting ahead of us here and then us taking the next DRS. But no, we're going to give that to Verstappen as well, are we? Yeah, Verstappen's got DRS here as well. Can we keep him behind? Oh, Verstappen. He went for it, he sent it, and he's done it as Max. Right, we're going to have to go through that top-up phase now.
Mode charge, mode charge.
Just unfortunately, we didn't have the battery there to really make it work. But this is fine, we can top up. Mick Schumacher in for his second stop. That's an early second stop. Oh, that was... yeah, not a great line through there. That's going to lose us a lot of time. DRS again on Max. Look a little bit further back, but Antonelli is going to send it on him, and he's back through. But again, we're just trying to save a bit of battery. Aaron, we are in 2026, buddy. So, fourth race of 2026. OPGO, one is ASGP. Aaron's channel, second is some news. Not fully confident about Seb. Good team, a good role, not driver. Okay, buddy, yeah, I'll check it out. And Colapinto just got past Lance Stroll there. We just missed that replay. But Colapinto now up to P9. So making his way back through. And Antonelli has got Verstappen all over him again. Sainz following that slipstream. And we should get the DRS here. No, we don't. We don't. That's not good. But we will stay with him whilst we top up. Right, Colapinto. Has he kept Stroll behind here? Yes, he has. Right, that's fine. So, Colapinto P9. Now 3.5 off Perez. Perez down to 53%. What's Sainz's tyres? 71%. We've still got 6% on him. So this is still okay for Kimi Antonelli. Hamilton has got 14 seconds up the road though, so I don't think we've got a chance at Hamilton now. Can I send another? Yeah, of course you can. And Antonelli, again through there, is getting the job done. But the problem is, he's going to give the DRS back to Max Verstappen on the start-finish straight. We might need to just deploy a bit of battery here, just to see if we can at least stay ahead of Max for the next lap. Antonelli, what tyre life has he got? He's got a little bit. Let's try and attack. Use a bit of battery, see if we can stay ahead. Come out of this last corner, we're probably going to use most of this battery out of here. There we go, 20% down to 8. So Verstappen again does have DRS, so does Sainz. We can stay ahead into this first corner. We should be able to stay ahead into the second DRS, and Max isn't close enough to make an attempt this time round. Colapinto's broken the DRS to Stroll. That's now 2.7. And Antonelli does stay ahead of Max Verstappen. Right, do we just try and use a bit more of this battery then? Try and get rid of Max here. Seven tenths. We've got 23% tyre life on him.
You're okay.
Second here. Right, come on. If we can keep him off us through here. Oh, how close is he? Did he get the DRS? Oh, Max. That was really touch and go. And Max is just, he knows how crucial it is to stay in that DRS. And now we're not going to have any more battery.
No overtake now. No
We just can't get there. We just cannot get there with him.
More charge. More charge.
Yeah, Max is right there. Max has suddenly used a lot of battery out of there.
Still lift off.
He's a wily old fox, that Max Verstappen.
Copy.
And here he is, really pushing us now. What's he down to 48%? He's wrecking his tyres, though. Fastest lap from Verstappen. That's evidence that he's suddenly started to push. That's fine, because all he's doing there is absolutely wrecking his tyres, really.
Keep focus on your race.
Colapinto has got DRS on Sergio Perez. In fact, he's passed Sergio Perez. So Colapinto, hopefully we get a replay of that one. And we
Let's have a
do.
look at that. Now this was on the straight. Can
So
they
Franco
squeeze by?
coming back through now on those medium tyres.
And as a
And
result,
that move was done nice and early. So he's now 10 seconds though. Well, yeah, 10 seconds off Sainz, 12 seconds off his teammate. So he's lost quite a bit in this middle stint, hasn't he? Franco. He's got lap 40, can go a little bit more aggressive on those tyres. Antonelli, as we know, is back behind Max Verstappen then. But 22% tyre life on Max.
I am trying.
OP Joe, can I? Yeah, I said you can, buddy.
Race.
And there we go, Antonelli back through, but that's the worst place to keep doing that overtake, and he's not really learning, is Kimi.
Good job.
Gotta go medium on the overtake for now. Now let's get a bit more defensive with him.
Mode defend.
So Norris leads by 10 seconds over Charles Leclerc as Alex Albon develops an issue. So yeah, Norris is well on into his way to winning a 4th race in a row. And what's Sainz's tyre life saying? He's down to 60%, so yeah, he is just pretty much on standard. We are going to top up for a bit now with Antonelli. Colapinto has now broken that DRS to Perez, just about. Perez is going to be into the box pretty soon, though. Colapinto. Yeah, let's go back to standard with Franco. Max down to 42%. Ricardo's going to be in pretty soon. So yeah, we'll see second pit stops in the next... From now up to the next 5-6 laps. We're going to see quite a bit of activity in the pit lane. Antonelli has momentarily broken the DRS to Verstappen. So Verstappen obviously just starting to nurse those tyres a bit. Whilst he's backing Sainz up, we will just try to push a little bit. 2 from the RB team, no worries, buddy. Yeah, we've suddenly got 1.8 on him. I think Sainz will be zooming past him here because Verstappen's obviously gone into tyre management mode here. This is giving us a little bit of a buffer to Carlos Sainz. And there goes Carlos Sainz as expected then.
More charge. We need some lift off.
That's given us 2 seconds on Sainz. Colapinto now 8.5 off this battle. As Ricardo pits. So what are we aiming for here? Lap 40 for Franco. Lap 36 for Antonelli. So let's just monitor this. We've got a nice 2 seconds on Carlos Sainz now. You just want to monitor that gap to Carlos. But yeah, Addy asked for my predictions in Canada, but let me know in the chat what do you think is going to happen in Canada. Let me know your qualifying results, first, second and third. Put it in the chat. 59%. Colapinto. Yeah, I think he can go aggressive really on those tyres. Antonelli's used quite a bit of his, so he's going to have to probably stay on standard. He's got 2.6 now to Carlos Sainz. And Verstappen's still out there, 36%. But we're starting to come back a little bit at Hamilton, but I think, again, we will in the final stint, but we're probably going to run out of time because he's now going to get a nice little undercut. What tyres is Lewis going to go on to, though? If he goes on the hard tyres, there might be an outside chance. It looks like mediums, yeah. Another set of mediums for Lewis, then. So Antonelli moves up to P4, but it does look like we're fighting for a 5th place finish here, which would be very nice. But yeah, not too much track action going on, so let's just forward on to those second pit stops. Hamilton's come out behind Colapinto. Colapinto only 4 seconds behind Verstappen now. It was 8. He's still about 10 seconds off his teammate, though. But he is getting closer to Verstappen and Sainz as Piastri is into the pits.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
Antonelli into his pit window, but not quite yet. 36, lap 36, you want to stop. OP Joe going for first Oscar, second Lando, third Charles, fourth Russell, fifth Max. Yep, seems sensible. I think they're the top 5 you're pretty much looking at most races, aren't you? So I'm feeling a Lando pole, a second Charles Leclerc, third Max Verstappen. I'd go fourth Piastri, fifth Russell. Same 5 that you've got, just in a little bit of a different order. So Colapinto, yeah, Hamilton closing, but say he's not really fighting Hamilton. He is nearly on Max Verstappen though, and Max Verstappen down to 33%. We're about to be right on Verstappen, who's really struggling on those tyres, so we want to get past him as quickly as possible. And the moment is now, although Max gets nice traction out of that corner. Can we send it on the inside? We should have much better braking power there. or grip to brake, I should say. And we have with through. So Colapinto into P6, past Verstappen. He's going to attack a bit on those tyres now as well. Right, Antonelli. How are we getting on with Kimi? He can probably attack on this final part of the stint as well. 6th for Kimi, 7th Alonso, 8th Carlos, 9th Albon, 10th Lawson. You've got the whole order, OP.
Copy.
I could continue with it. That would win you some money if you got that right. For a pound. Right, Verstappen finally pits then. And Hamilton will probably be getting past Colapinto here. So yeah, Colapinto unlikely to challenge Hamilton because we're going to be a full pit stop behind, aren't we? But we could be fighting for 5th and 6th. We started 6th and 7th. 5th and 6th would be absolutely mega for us. We would very much take that. Alonso into the pits. Perez is still out there. He's down to 38%. So quite a big gap has opened up to Perez now, hasn't it? So yeah, I think we could have a good final stint here. We'll probably drop back behind a few again. Here comes Hamilton. Is he going to make the move here on Franco Colapinto? He went for it, but he doesn't. And Colapinto is now, what is he? About 8 seconds off Antonelli. So it was 10 seconds. He's now 8 seconds off his teammate. I don't think Colapinto is going to get back up to Antonelli in this race.
You can have some lift off.
But what he might be doing here is just helping him, helping Antonelli have a battle with Hamilton later on in this race. Oh no!
Yeah,
as we say that, Kimi Antonelli's gone wide.
Here.
Hopefully this isn't too much.
Oh, and they need to be watching those track
That's
limits.
fine. That's absolutely fine. That could have been a lot worse than that. Right, Hamilton, here we go. Can Colapinto do anything here? Probably not. Because Hamilton on much fresher tyres. And there he goes. But can we have a go at him back on the second DRS zone? No, he can't. So he just stays in the gearbox of Hamilton. Right, Antonelli, next lap is the one for Kimi Antonelli.
And the box is lap.
Colapinto, just want to cool those tyres a little bit. All right, let's get them in. And Colapinto staying just about in the DRS of Hamilton. Colapinto trying to get back up to Sainz, of course, and he's only a second and a half off him now as Perez jumps into the pits finally. Let's get Franco Colapinto, Antonelli round, sorry, as he's coming in at the end of this lap. So, second and final stop for Kimi Antonelli then. Colapinto, I think he can continue attack on those tyres. He's now on Carlos Sainz's Colapinto. We'll join that battle in a moment, but let's just see this pit stop from Kimi Antonelli. 2.5, we'll take that. Colapinto can't quite get that move done. Is Antonelli going to clear Verstappen? I think we are there. Colapinto's got another go here at Carlos Sainz. Can he make the move on the inside here? Yes, he can. Franco Colapinto into P5. El Marcianito. I've butchered it, but thank you for the follow. Colapinto up 56%. El Gran Ferrari, thank you for the follow. Much appreciated, buddy. So Antonelli, yes, he did clear Max Verstappen, so that was key. And he's on his way now. That's the final stint for Kimi Antonelli. Max Verstappen on the same set of tyres now, though, so he might still be a factor. It's only 4.5 seconds, and that Red Bull isn't slow, of course. So now let's just weigh this up then. So Antonelli will clear Sainz and Colapinto. So yeah, he will be in a net P5. He'll be 18 seconds off Hamilton. Yeah, I'm not sure we can get there. Can he hold off Verstappen though? I think Verstappen's going to be pretty quick at the end here. As Leclerc's into the pits, let us forward on then until our pit stop, which is coming up on lap 40 for Franco Colapinto. Has Lawson into the pits as well. So Colapinto's got another couple of laps to do, and then we'll get him into the box. And then we'll have 17 laps to go. Antonelli is keeping about 3.5-4 seconds on Verstappen, so that's good to see. Colapinto's now got 6 seconds on Sainz, so that's safeguarded us from his undercut. So we could be battling for 5th and 6th here when it's all said and done. Colapinto will be undercut by a few, including Verstappen, so he's got to try and come back at these. Alright, let's get him in then. He is going to be on the soft tyre, of course. Verstappen, everyone who's going to be ahead of him, really, is going to be on that medium. Antonelli, it's now 3.2 to Verstappen. Verstappen has used 11% more tyre life, so we have got a bit of tyre life on him. Just got to continue to monitor that, though. Right, here comes Franco. No worries, OP. See you in a bit. All right, Franco, final stop. Hopefully, nice and clean here. And he'll be going on to the softs till the end. As the pit crew wait to receive him. Probably the last to box in this race, unless some are going to butcher the tyres here. And there we go, 2.4 seconds. Antonelli is past him. Verstappen is past him. He should be out ahead of Carlos Sainz, though. So he shouldn't have any issues from those behind him. And there you go. He's going to be comfortably out ahead of those guys. Can he get back to Max Verstappen here, though? Bit of a job to do. It's 10 seconds. It is, what, 23% tyre life, so he's got to use this soft now. So let's see how we go. Antonelli, he's got 2.1 seconds on Max. I'm not enjoying that, but we are building a good, healthy battery up. And we've still got 11%, so I think we can use that once Max gets to about 1.5 seconds. If you're watching for the first time, we stream this series every Tuesday and Friday. So if you like what you see, come back on Friday, 7 PM UK time, every Tuesday and Friday. Of course, do follow or subscribe on your relevant platform. But if you are watching this away from YouTube on TikTok or Twitch, head to my profile in the bio, click the YouTube link, and that is where we keep all of this series. So not just the live streams, you get all of the episodes, 2 episodes a week. And all of our F1 Manager content is over there. So do head over to YouTube and subscribe as well. And don't forget to support the channel. Do smash that like button. Super appreciated. Right, Colapinto, tyres up to temp. So let's get him underway. Max Verstappen still about 2.3. And if you are dropping in for the first time, then as I say, we do watch most of the track action. So unlike some streamers, they do forward a lot of the race. We predominantly watch all of the race. Unless we find ourselves in a little scenario that we've got now, where we're not really challenging anyone. So we will just forward the time on until maybe Max gets a bit closer or Colapinto closes the gap on Max. If not, we might just be finishing the way we are. Leclerc, 76. Can we catch these Ferraris is the other thing. 7.8 off the Ferraris. Colapinto, 9 seconds. So the gaps we're looking at is Colapinto, 9 seconds to Verstappen. Verstappen 2.5 behind Antonelli, and Antonelli 7.5 behind Ferrari. So we're trying to see if we can close some of those. So we've got a yellow flag.
And here we've got a yellow flag.
That's Mick Schumacher. Already had a lock-up. Now he's having a spin. Mick Schumacher in the RB, back on the grid in 2026.
Round they spin.
And that's far from ideal from Mick Schumacher. That's not going to be good for his tyres. Down to 75%. Antonelli, yeah, so that tyre is going to be good to the end, isn't it? Yeah. I think Antonelli, at the moment, seems to have Max Verstappen covered off. He's got 14% tyre life on him. Not really gaining too much on the Ferraris, though. Colapinto's getting closer to Max. Can we go a little bit more aggressive on those tyres? Can Colapinto get to Max Verstappen? It's now 6.4 seconds. Max has dropped off Antonelli, so Max obviously conserving a bit of tyre life now. And that's allowing Colapinto to get closer. I don't think Antonelli will get to the Ferraris. That gap is not closing enough. But we've got 12 laps to go. Colapinto on the charge then to see if he can get Max Verstappen towards the back end of this race. It's now down to around about 5 seconds. Got to be mindful of the tyre life. Yeah, not too much happening on track, so we're just trying to forward on to see if we can get any battles late on. We've got 8 seconds to Carlos Sainz. That's covered off. And Antonelli looks pretty comfortable in P5 now. It's jumped to 9 seconds to the Ferrari, so as I say, that battle is sort of well and truly over. But P5 would be very nice. Colapinto now 2.8 behind Max Verstappen. So he is getting closer. We'll just go back to stand for a little while. Don't want to blitz those tyres. But he's got good percentage on Max Verstappen. 10 to go. Franco Colapinto has got a good chance here of getting to Verstappen. Although we've now gone standard. That gap is expanding again. Oh no, it's not. Sorry, Verstappen's gap to Antonelli is. Colapinto is getting ever closer. 1.3, 1.2. I think it's time to jump back on track. Let's see if we can get this job done then on Max Verstappen as Albon. There is a few late pit stops. We've got 18% tyre life on Verstappen and we're on a softer compound. We do get DRS there.
No lift off anymore.
Copy.
Right, we should be able to get this done now on the start-finish straight. We'll get a good replenishment of that battery into turn 1. Don't really want to make the move here, Franco. Unless you get the DRS, then that's fine. That is fine. This should be good. This should be good, because we're nearly alongside. Max does get a better traction off there, but we're now going to get the DRS. Max used a lot of battery out that final corner, but Colapinto with the DRS now. Ooh, I think that was the detection zone. Who got the DRS? If we got the DRS, it's looking good. We did get the DRS, so we're past Max Verstappen, and we'll use that DRS to pull away. Max can't attack us. And Colapinto into P6 then. So yeah, I think we'll just see the DRS detection zone here. And there you go, Max was just ahead. Normally, wily old Max would have just dropped a bit to get that DRS. But there we go, Franco moves into P6. And I'm just going to use a bit of this tyre life, try and extend that gap. Try and break the DRS to Max, and hopefully that will be enough to win the battle with him. It's now 1.1. We'll just keep extending through here. Use a bit more battery out of here. Then we'll drop to standard and neutral. Antonelli looks like he's just had a bit of traffic, which he has. That looks to be Teo Pourchaire, and he's got Esteban Ocon and Mick Schumacher coming up. Colapinto then is clear on Max Verstappen. Max has dropped 2.5 seconds back, so that looks to be done and dusted. 5th and 6th on the cards then. Will Hamilton run out of tyre life towards the end here? There might still be an outside chance, but I don't think so. It's 10 seconds. Colapinto only 5.5 seconds off his teammate now. So continue to watch those. As Antonelli is having to get through the traffic though, that's probably why he's losing a bit of time. Colapinto's going to have to do that shortly as well. As Albon sets the fastest lap of the race. Antonelli's got to get past Mick Schumacher, and then he might not have any more traffic. I'm not sure he'll get to Bem before the end of the race. Antonelli gets a nice helping of DRS there. He found Mick Schumacher a nice part of the track there. 5 to go. Colapinto should get that fuel back towards the end. Just got to be mindful of that. Duvka's Lovers, thanks for the follow, much appreciated. Yeah, minus 0.2 on the fuel for Colapinto, so we should get that back towards the end. He's 5.5 seconds Colapinto off Antonelli, so it looks like Antonelli is going to have that covered. It is now only 6 seconds to Lewis Hamilton, though, so is there going to be a little bit of a battle with Lewis at the end? Lewis conserving his tyre life, though. That's why we've reduced the deficit by half there. Don't think we will, because I think by the time we get there, he's going to have enough tyre life to survive, isn't he? Got 4 laps to go. We are eating into Lewis's lead on us, but I don't think it's going to be enough to get there and get a move done, unfortunately. Colapinto, yeah, 6 seconds behind Antonelli, so it is going to be Antonelli coming out on top of the teammate battle here today. But as we cross the line, 3 laps to go now for Kimi Antonelli, and it is just 3.4 seconds to Lewis Hamilton. We've got a bit of battery, to be honest with you. And we've got 4% tyre life. Let's use it. 2.3, I mean... we are closing. And Colapinto has got that battery life back, so he's good. And Colapinto has extended that gap to 10 seconds on Verstappen here today. Antonelli can see Lewis Hamilton. We're getting ever closer. We've got 3% tyre advantage. But Hamilton has probably been able to save his battery, waiting for this battle, I'd imagine. But let's continue using the battery out of here, because we want to get into that next DRS zone if we can. And we're getting a slipstream now. Heavy braking into turn 1, and hopefully we'll get the DRS.
Copy.
And there we are. There is the rear wing of that Ferrari. We should see the DRS open, which we do. 2 to go. We can go full attack here. We've got the tyre life to do it. Franco could go full attack as well. Alright, a lap and a half to go. Can Antonelli get past the man he replaced in real life at Mercedes? I don't really want to do it here, though.
Mode charge.
Yeah.
Well, that's fine. Lewis did pull a bit of a gap there, but I didn't want to overtake there because we'll start the final lap, and that would give Lewis the DRS on the next 2 straights, or at least the next straight, and that's where I want Kimi Antonelli to have the DRS, because that will give him the best chance of getting Lewis Hamilton. Still got a couple of percent in the tyre margin for us, advantage to us, but Lewis is using that battery now. He's pulled away a bit there, 7 tenths. And is he going to get DRS off the back marker here? This would absolutely wreck it for us. Is his rear wing going to open? No, but it might do on the next DRS. I think he's going to get DRS out of here. Yeah, he's going to get DRS. No, he's going to get DRS off the Sauber. Oh, that's tragic. Oh, and we've lost. We've had to lift. Oh, it's all gone wrong, Kimi. Come on, keep pushing, Kimi. Keep pushing. We've got one more DRS zone. Is there any more traffic? Behrman, we shouldn't get to him. We've literally got to be on Hamilton's gearbox, though. Coming out of DRS, it's the hardest one to overtake on. And we're not close enough. That's not going to be close enough. This has nearly pulled the second on us there, and he might even get DRS on Behrman. Lando Norris has won the race, dominant here in Bahrain. Oh, we're getting closer to Hamilton, but it's not going to be close enough. That back marker just hampered us there. And that's really meant that Lewis Hamilton is going to survive this final lap. We've got another back marker. Piastri finishes P2. It's going to be Leclerc, Hamilton's teammate. What is this back marker going to do? He gets out of the way nicely. We are getting a tow. Could we send one into the final corner? We're going to look at the outside, but we've got no battery left, so I don't think we can do anything here. Lewis Hamilton defends the inside, and Hamilton is going to survive, but Antonelli gave it a good go, and it's still a really good result for Kimi Antonelli. It's P5. That's our best result of the season. We've had 2 P6s with Colapinto, and he gets his 3rd P6 of the season. 3 times out of 4, he's finished P6. Antonelli finishes P5. Colapinto's fuel just about got him across the line. But we have done our best result of the season here. It's P5 for Antonelli, P6 for Colapinto. Norris wins the first 4 races in a row. Absolute dominance from that McLaren. Finley, thanks for the gifts, buddy. As the safety car comes out at the end there. Finley, much appreciated, buddy.
Karun, what a brilliant drive we just witnessed there.
It's safe to say they exceeded all
No
expectations.
problem. Cheers, buddy.
Finishing the point, and my goodness, it is.
Well, that is definitely our best result of the season, though. But let's look at the full classification then. Lando Norris has won it. Oscar Piastri 2nd. Charles Leclerc 3rd. Lewis Hamilton 4th, as we saw. Kimi Antonelli up 1 and Colapinto. So we started 6th and 7th. We go up 1 place each. So Kimi Antonelli finishes P5. Franco Colapinto P6. Max Verstappen up 4 places. So still a good result for him. He got knocked out in Q2, so that Red Bull was quicker than that, but I think because he's bogged down in traffic, that's really wrecked his race. I think without that, he probably would have been in the top 5. Carlos Sainz, that Williams was very quick and still managed to finish P8, so good result there. Fernando Alonso up 4 to finish P9, and Perez in the Mercedes rounds out the top 10. So Drivers' Championship, it should be 100 points to Lando Norris with 4 wins out of the opening 4 races. There we see it. Lando Norris, absolute dominance here in 2026. Nearly double the points of his closest competitors, which is Max Verstappen in 2nd and Oscar Piastri P3. They're both on the same points. If we removed Lando from this championship, it'd be a lovely little battle going on. It'd be 2 points between these 4 here, because we've got Verstappen and Piastri on 54 points, Hamilton and Leclerc on 52. But look at this man here, Franco Colapinto. He's finished so far in the opening 4 races 6th, 6th, 8th, and 6th. So really good work from Franco in the opening of 2026. He jumps into P6. Fernando Alonso is 7th. Perez is 8th. And Kimi Antonelli gets 10 points today and adds to his first point that he got on debut last time out in Suzuka. So 11 points in total for Antonelli. He's into the top 10 in P9. And Sainz drops to P10. Lawson 11th. Danny Rick P12. And the rest of the drivers are yet to score. Constructors, here we go then. McLaren, although Lando is dominant, the Constructors isn't as dominant because Piastri, although he is moving into that P2 place, he hasn't been completely 1-2s all of those races. So Ferrari still in with a chance of the Constructors, but Red Bull already 100 points back. Look at us in 4th. That's where I want to finish this year, and we've got a good chance, especially with this upgrade package. I don't think we've got the car to battle with McLaren and Ferrari. Perhaps towards the end of the season, Ferrari. Red Bull, we can beat Lawson, probably, although we beat Verstappen today, but on a normal day, probably not beating Verstappen. So P4, we're finishing comfortably ahead of the Astons and Mercedes today, and that's what we want to continue to do. So we're in P4, Aston Martin 5th, Mercedes 6th. Williams looked very quick today, so I think their upgrade might even allow them to take the fight to Aston Martin and Mercedes. They're in 7th, Sauber, RB, Haas, and Alpine yet to score. And fastest pit stops, we did get 10 points from that today with Kimi Antonelli and Red Bull do the top 2 fastest times. And we are in P4 in the pit stop competition, so we have well and truly improved in that domain this year. Sponsor objective was 18 for each, so we've absolutely nailed that. That's got us $1.8 million. But that is going to bring this one to a close today. And what a result that was. The upgrade package we bought, we thought it was going to make us more competitive, and it definitely did. We, as I say, best finish, although it was P6 previously, to get both drivers in that top 6, 5th and 6th. Absolutely phenomenal stuff. So really looking forward to the next few races, and then we'll get another upgrade package probably on by round 8 or 9. So I think if we can stay in that sort of 5 to 10 range for the next 4 races, and see where the next upgrade package takes us. And as I say, the next cars we want to really be battling against, Verstappen in that Red Bull regularly, and then the Ferrari. McLaren look very dominant here in 2026, as they do in real life in 2025. But as always, if you're not already, make sure to subscribe. If you like the video, and we're going to be back very soon with the next one. And that next one will be on Friday. So as I say, stream every Tuesday and Friday. So if you've checked us out for the first time, make sure you're following or subscribing, and check us out on Friday as we'll head to Jeddah, which can always be a bit of a chaotic race. Plenty of red flags over there in F1 Manager, so check that one out. As I say, if you like the video before you go, super appreciated. And as I mentioned earlier, if you've watched on TikTok or Twitch, head to the profile in the bio, click the YouTube link. That's where we house all of the F1 Manager content, not just these live streams, the episodes of all of our series. So head over to there, subscribe, and check those out. But as I say, we will be back on Friday, probably a bit later, from about 7:15. So hopefully I will see you there.